lot better this year. But guys, if we cut Jimmy Graham, he saves us $5 million.
Remember we talked about the 2-year extension thing the other day, and that still saves us $3 million. And because that's more likely with the way they talk about him and treat him, they know this contract can't go on, but I think they like him enough where instead they work out a 2-year extension, which drop down the savings. It saves them another $3 million, right? Is that what we found out?
No, it saves them. It saves them $5 million. Still, it's still either cut or extension, or even a restructure. It's still $5 million across the board.
Okay, so there's another.
So,
let's pretend. Let's not say cut. Let's say extend because it saves the same amount of money. Just to be so that we're more being real about what's.
So that's $5 million. So we're at $35 million. So with $35 million right there, you have to re-sign Kenny Clark and obviously Bulaga. Those are 2 heavies right there. Then obviously Blake Martinez is going to walk. We're going to look for another inside linebacker. There's definitely high prospects in the draft. I don't see Gutekunst paying Blake Martinez high inside linebacker money around $9 to $13 million. I don't see it. Yeah, he has the tackles, but they're 3 to 5 yards after the line of scrimmage. He gets lost in coverage. He has not taken the jump in Mike Pettine's system that we all were looking at. It's not there. We can't do it. It kills me to say that.
I like him.
So
he's a great kid too. He wants to be good.
But with Kenny Clark and Bulaga's contract, I mean, I'm looking at it now. Kenny Clark obviously is on a rookie deal still, and him being a first rounder, I believe there's a 5th-year option that the Packers could use on him, if I'm correct.
They already picked it up. They picked it up last summer. It had to be designated last June, remember? And they announced it, and they picked it up.
Did they?
Yes. Remember, it was right after my birthday, sometime back in June.
Okay, so 2020 he is under contract because they picked up the 5th-year option because he was drafted in 16.
Gives him a
16,
year,
17, 19.
Yeah.
So we already have Kenny Clark for 2020. But the thing is, so right now in 2020 we'll owe him $7 million. Since they picked up the 5th year, the thing is they want to get the deal done extended for Kenny Clark. Gutekunst has expressed that the whole year. Like every time he's up at the podium, they ask him about it. He wants to get it done so we don't have to leave it at a 5th-year option. So right now it's $7.7 million we're owing Kenny Clark on 2020 the books. So that's taken care of. And all those moves still, folks, even with a 5th-year option on Kenny, we still have $35 million. You take care of Bulaga, that's what, $8-10 million right there, Jay?
Nah, I think with the way inflation is, and he's a hell of a tackle. Plus, he's proved he can play and performed
right now.
Yep, he's going to get a raise. They're going to give him probably a $10 to $11 million a year deal.
So,
and he's earned it. I mean, that's not a ridiculous price tag. He is better than $8.5 million. He proves that he can produce when he's healthy. He's premier, and he's outplaying Bakhtiari. And I know Bakhtiari's got back issues. I'm not, and it's not disparaging, but he is outplaying Bakhtiari. Out of the 2 of those, he's the better tackle this season. He is a stud even when he's injured.
$14 million, so $11 million to steal from Bulaga.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to give him a raise, and he earned it.
Bulaga, even up to $11 million, it bumps us down from 35 down to 24. So Kenny Clark is on the books for $7 million because of the 5th-year option already in effect.
Okay, so let's just be real about this. Okay, let's say they give him, he's young. So I think since he's young, he's going to get that 5-year extension because of his age, because he's only 24, because that still keeps him sub 30 and becoming up on free agent. So I believe he gets a 5-year extension. I believe he's going to get.
If we give up an extension to Kenny Clark, it frees up another $7.6 million.
Hold on now. Let me just want to throw some numbers out there and see if you think I'm crazy or not. I think he's going to get about 65 or 70 million on a 5-year extension, and I think about 42 million of that will be guaranteed.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to because he's a top defensive tackle. He's a top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL.
Right.
That's why I'm backing it up.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL. Yes. he's getting a big extension, but also he could want more because we're putting him on the 5th year and he
But
wants
can you
to
do the
earn his
numbers for
contract.
me? What would that average out with the 5th-year option and all that? What would his number be if he got? Let's bump it to the top end. Let's say $70 million over 5 years with 43.5 million guaranteed.
So you want 70?
70 million over 5
So that's 14 million a year.
with 43 and a half guaranteed. And then you have to add in that 5th-year option, add that in, and then average it out again.
Well, so 70 plus 7 point.
That's just rough because there's a lot of other math because of the way you extend. You get the first 2 years end up being cheaper and all that. But this is just the rough caveman to give people an idea.
So with his base salary, because of that big guaranteed money, you're looking at a less base salary, which would be a less cap hit.
Okay, so kind of where are we looking at?
You're sitting at about, right now, it looks like about 15.1 or 15.2 million a year.
And
The way you just said it.
And considering what his production and age and value is, and then Aaron Donald's making what, 21, 22?
Yep.
I
And
think
Khalil
that
Mack
contract
with
is
another
probably,
defensive player, is
I
making
think that
22 as well.
contract is probably what's going to happen, and we completely agree. I think I just
Okay. So that's the thing. Offering him extension right there still clears 7.6 off for this year. That's what I'm saying. A wipe 7.6
No, I'm just doing
off.
this because I like where we're going with
know.
this, bud. I
I'm,
love it.
I'm doing math right now. Hold on.
Yep.
So we're at 24 with Bulaga. 7.6 gets added back on the books right there. You're back up to 31 million. You have more than enough room to add an OBJ. 14.25 million right there. Bumps you back down to 17 million. So it leaves you some leeway for rookies and other veteran players to bring back, like Tremont Williams. He's making $5 million a year. There's 12 million left. Just saying.
I just like it when we do this because we only got like just about 23 minutes left of broadcast before they kick us off. But I'm just saying I like where we were going because this is where we get nerdy. I don't know. It's fun.
No, we would be sitting around 12 to 14 million of cap right now, depending on rough of the numbers. We'll have to drop it too. So it'd be 10 to 14 million of cap left after those moves of Lane Taylor getting cut, Jimmy Graham getting cut or extended or restructured. I mean, yeah, those moves right there would extend out enough. Tremont Williams getting re-signed, Bulaga getting re-signed, and the thing is with guaranteed money, J2, I learned that it's not all 100% towards the cap. I think you only count, 50 to 75% of the guaranteed money because there's only so much you can allot towards the cap.
Well, I know. That's what I said. There's a lot more. This is like all rough estimated math just to get us a general idea. But what I was trying to show is that even though it seems like a lot, that's a steal for a kid that's 24 years old and is a top 5 player compared to the guys like an Aaron Donald who are making almost $7 million more a year. And that's what I guess I was trying to prove through all our nerdy math is that although I think Skip Bayless is full of shit, if he really does want to go somewhere, Green Bay is absolutely going to have the requisite cap by the time they're done, and it's not going to take this ridiculous price tag because of his production, like we explained earlier, to go out and trade for him. I think a second-round pick thrown out there, even from the Packers, is probably going to be one of the higher picks
Aaron
thrown
Donald
out
is
there.
owed $25 million next year.
That's the $10 million difference. So even if he asks for a little bit more, okay,
even if he has
it up to
17
or 18 a year, it's still not ridiculous.
But that's the thing. You could sit there and let him ride that 5th-year option and then get the deal done before the new year starts and just put it towards the next year's cap.
Well, I know it still bounces off because you're signing him within that year of the contract that he's playing on. So it's still all averages out the way we said, and you get that $7 million immediately then for the bonus. At the end of the year, for your rollover if you
agree.
want her to start signing. This seems, I don't know. So I mean, even if he ends up getting 80, that's only going to still average out to about 18 or 19 a year. And he's 24. I mean, he's ascending
Yeah.
player. He played pretty well hurt, and he's come back and been dominant like we thought he would be, and he was before he had that stretch. There's nothing
Yeah.
that makes me not think that Kenny Clark is not a pretty, because nobody's a guaranteed bet. But at this point, from everything I've seen, Kenny, when he's healthy, when he's hurt, and healthy again coming off an injury, there's nothing for me to have any reservations about paying this kid $15 to $19 million a year over 5 years. Just, I'm sorry. I feel pretty comfortable with Kenny Clark as a player, and not to mention, hell of a good kid. I mean, he's a full package.
Yeah.
Those kind of players are the ones you give the contracts you feel comfortable with the big contracts. And it's just smart business at this point.
I know it's just PFF, but I've also gone and looked at this. Man, tell you what, right now, if there's a time for one of our free agents to step up, not Darius, not Preston, not Billy, Adrian Amos graded out his highest grade of the season against Washington, 90.4. 7 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, forced fumble, and an interception. Oh, and a sack.
Came from nowhere, too. Holy snikes.
Right before the half. Oh, yeah, but guess what Bears fans told us? He can't cover.
Yeah. Also,
too, Bears fans have been riding this one all season. Clinton Dix is higher in the PFF rankings. Well, check this week, folks. Adrian Amos is 11th. Clinton Dix is 15th.
Yeah. I don't care. Every time I watch him, he's just...
As much as I rep the PFF, there's one thing I'm really mad about. Elton Jenkins is ranked 35th as a guard.
And yet he's the only one in the league that doesn't make
only one
sense.
in the league of 600 snaps, because now he's gone over 600 snaps. He's the only the only offensive lineman in the league across interior, exterior offensive linemen with 0 QB hits, 0 sacks. But yet PFF, whoever is doing his grades, I swear is either...
They're not watching tape of him?
No, it's either one, they're a rival of Mississippi State because people carry college grudges. 2, they're probably a Vikings or Lions or Bears analyst that has to cover the NFC North, which a lot of companies do, and a lot of bias gets put into it. One of their things this week I read about Elton Jenkins, his run blocking needs work. What? Did I not see how many times Aaron Jones ran behind him?
That's why they drafted him, because he was a monster in the run blocking. And he was able to play versatile. He played every position but right tackle.
He was one of the best pulling guards in the NFL this year. Get this. They have him graded. I checked this on PFF. Go look when you have a chance.
I don't understand why
they have him
don't
graded.
Like him.
They have him. They're saying his pass blocking and run blocking is below 70 points on each one. But somehow his screen blocking is rated an 83. How does that even make sense?
I told you, that's why I don't like looking at a lot of their stuff. Like, some of the stuff is interesting, but I'm only trying to see if it's going to tell me what I saw on film, whether it's positive or negative. If I see a bunch of positivity on film, and then I turn on and that player's got a bunch of negative crap and negative grades and all this shit, I just look at it and I go, well, I don't know. You're either blind or you just didn't watch what I just watched, because that doesn't make sense. I mean, that doesn't always happen, but that happens with a few players. Jenkins this year happens to be one of those players that I just don't get it. Like to me, this happened to Quentin Nelson early in the season last year. Are you freaking kidding me? And guess what? He ended up being all pro, and it's like, yeah, you look pretty dumb, because you don't get to be all pro because you had 8 good games in a season.
I know.
You got to be freaking awesome all year round every time you started. The only exception would be like if you had a 2-game stretch where you either didn't start because you were a rookie, or you got injured and missed a couple games, but every other game you played, you were dominant, and no, you were better than everybody else. But
You want to know another stat that I love? I actually support this.